This Zodiac gets divorced by summer, is it not yours? Leo, a man who burned as brightly as his sign, thought his marriage was a masterpiece. He and Clara, a quiet, observant Aquarius, were the couple everyone envied. He was the sun, she was the cool, calm sky that made his light bearable. Their 10th anniversary was approaching, a milestone Leo planned to celebrate with a surprise trip to Paris, the city where they first met. He'd already booked the flights, the 5-star hotel overlooking the Seine, and a reservation at a Michelin-star restaurant. He imagined her gasp, her eyes welling up with happy tears. Their love story was perfect, written in the stars. Or so he thought. One Tuesday evening in early April, Leo came home to a house that felt different. It was too quiet. The usual scent of Clara's jasmine tea was missing. Instead, the air was sterile, holding a tension that pricked his skin. He found her in the living room, sitting on the edge of the sofa, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. A single, packed suitcase stood by the door. Not a travel bag for a fun trip. A leaving bag. Leo's heart hammered against his ribs. Clara? What's going on? Is everything okay? She looked up, and for the first time, he saw not the adoring wife he expected, but a stranger with tired, resolute eyes. Leo, she said, her voice steady but devoid of warmth, I need to tell you something. And I need you to just listen. The world tilted on its axis. This wasn't part of his perfect story. This was an ending he never saw coming. The tickets to Paris felt like ashes in his pocket. I'm leaving you, Leo. The words hung in the air, sharp and final. Leo stumbled back, a laugh escaping his lips. A laugh of pure disbelief. Leaving? What are you talking about? We're perfect. The trip to Paris, our anniversary. He trailed off, gesturing wildly around the room as if the solid walls of their home could prove his point. Clara didn't flinch. That's your version, Leo. Your perfect story. But I'm not a character in it. I'm a person. She stood up, her posture straight, a strength in her he hadn't noticed before. For 10 years, you've been the sun. And I've been your planet, dutifully orbiting. You plan, you decide, you shine. And I reflect. Did you ever ask me if I wanted to go to Paris? Or did you just assume it would make me happy because it fits your grand romantic gesture? He opened his mouth to argue, to say of course she wanted it, but the words wouldn't come. He tried to remember the last time he'd asked Clara what she truly wanted, for herself. Not for them, not for him, but just for her. The memory wouldn't surface. He saw a flash of all the times he'd made decisions for them. The house they bought because it had a great office for him. The car they drove because he liked the engine. The friends they saw, the restaurants they ate at, all curated by his taste, his desires. He was the director, and she was the silent star. Clara continued, her voice gaining momentum. You love the idea of me, Leo. The quiet, supportive wife who makes your life look good. But you don't see me. You didn't see me when I gave up my art studio because you needed a gym. You didn't see me when I was struggling last year, you just told me to think positive and planned a weekend getaway you wanted. You never see me. Each word was a precise cut, methodically dismantling the pedestal he'd placed their marriage on. The perfect couple was a facade, and he was the only one who hadn't realized it. His grand gestures weren't gifts of love, they were monuments to his own ego. The sun doesn't warm, it burns. The silence that followed was heavier than any argument. Leo sank into an armchair, the one she always said was uncomfortable but he insisted looked good. He finally saw it, all of it. The subtle dimming of her light over the years. Her quiet acquiescence wasn't contentment, it was resignation. Her supportive smiles weren't just for him, they were masks for her own forgotten dreams. He had loved her, he was sure of it. But his love was a cage, gilded and beautiful, but a cage nonetheless. She was an Aquarius, an air sign, meant to be free, to innovate, to be unconventional. He, the Leo, had demanded she stay on the ground and worship his fire. He had mistaken her presence for partnership, her silence for happiness. "Where will you go?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. The question wasn't a plea for her to stay, but a genuine inquiry. For the first time, he was asking about her. A small, sad smile touched her lips. "I rented a small studio downtown, near the art college. I'm going to start painting again. I've already enrolled in a class." She said it so simply, but to Leo, it sounded like a declaration of independence he should have heard years ago. He looked at the suitcase by the door. It wasn't just a bag of clothes. It was her life, reclaimed. It held her brushes, her forgotten colors, her future. He had built a monument, and she was walking away to build a life. That summer, the divorce papers were signed. It was quiet, amicable. There were no fights, no drama. Leo sold the house that was too big and too silent for one person. He spent a lot of time alone, learning the difference between being admired and being loved, between performing and connecting. He learned that true partnership isn't about one person being the sun. It's about two stars shining together, equally bright, creating their own constellation. The moral of the story isn't about astrology. It's about listening. It's about seeing the person you love for who they are, not who you need them to be. Because sometimes, the brightest love can cast the darkest shadows, and by the time you notice, the person you love has already learned to live in the dark, packed their bags, and is walking back into their own light. Don't let that be your story. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that makes you think. See you next time.